So I do more and more and more want to leave this space. I think I'm like pretty much 100% there.
Mm-hmm.
That like I think like it's nice. It's a nice to have for sure. Like it's not a negative. It's not like this is bad mojo. I got to get out of here. It's not that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's more a matter of I'm just not spending the time here to justify it, and I'd rather have free up the money for something else.
Yeah, 100%.
It's basically those two things.
Yep.
Storing the equipment viscerally seems like something I want to do. But when I think about it logically, man, I can't come up with a single reason to spend money on that. But that said, most of this is yours. So like, I don't... I mean, are we really going to use this shit?
Well, I think we're closer to answering that question today than we were when I moved it in here.
Yeah.
And I think we're closer to the answer is no, we won't.
I mean, I'm all for keeping a couple microphones and a little bit of lighting and a camera or something, like whatever. That like I said, that's your stuff anyway. But like, I'm talking about the console, the monitors, like most of this furniture.
Mm-hmm. The racks.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean the answer, the answer is I don't know, but I mean, I'm certainly willing to explore that in the next little while. I mean, yeah, it's like going back to our ship metaphor, like getting ready, piling up all the supplies on the dock, ready to load onto the ship for that big journey. Is like, we don't need that. We're not going to be using that where we're going.
And when I look around, like half the stuff in this room could just go to the dump.
Oh, well, okay, yeah. I mean, I think half might be, like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, a couple of the chairs I would for sure keep.
I see. Okay.
But like,
like half overall.
Almost everything on this side of the room.
Yeah.
Can go.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I the tables and stuff, they're nice to have, but I mean, I don't have a place to put them if I get rid of this space. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I first started to divest myself of all my gear, my main concern wasn't getting a good price for it. It was finding a good home for it. So I'd like to try and find someone who would like to take it, or at least would use it, would find use for it.
I mean, I think at minimum, Jason would probably keep the console and the monitors, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, more than likely.
And I mean, the stuff you want to keep that's over in that corner, if you end up getting an apartment or whatever, like you'll have room for that much probably.
Yeah, it just I think so I'm leaning heavily towards that outcome.
Yeah.
But I just again, I'd rather look at what the options are and think about, think things through.
But do you agree at this point, like keeping this space is not a good option?
Well, I think I can't see a reason for it moving forward. And depending on where I end up next, is we could end up having a really good place to record.
Yeah.
Like that's near the top of my list now. It's like I'm gonna look around and see where I am, and the place that I'm gonna look at tomorrow, I think would be dynamite. We're talking like a concrete construction, concrete and steel with 9-foot ceilings, and you're gonna have such good sound insulation, like from the outside noise.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So and then barrier free and all that kind of stuff.
And you're unlikely to get pets?
I'm not going to get a pet.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's zero chance of me getting that. So, so I think within the next week or two, we'll have a lot of answers. I think. Yeah. And I mean, in terms of like now, sort of making a plan to start, finding homes for everything. I mean, we can certainly start doing that.
And we'd have to I don't know if we need to get somebody else, if your legs can handle this anymore, but like all this stuff's got to come down.
Yeah, these are easy.
Like I think we would just take everything down and basically make two piles. One pile of shit to go to the dump and another pile of things that the plan is to keep somehow.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And then I'll call somebody off Kijiji that does one of the dump runs and say, I got a whole bunch of stuff. Come get it.
Yep. Or not to the dump even. Take it to, the restore, or take it to...
That's true.
Someplace where it could be recycled.
Like reused, a lot of this,
Yeah. I mean, Goodwill doesn't take furniture anymore, so they're out.
They don't take furniture, really?
They don't take any furniture at all, like not even shelves and things.
Okay, but there are places that do?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, that's that then. We'll just... Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting, to reflect, because, when you come in with, and this is, again, this is sort of the danger of too many possibilities or too wide a scope.
Yeah.
Is that you want to make sure that all your bases are covered and you have, a plan for every contingency and all that kind of stuff. But really, honestly, it's like, do you really need that? And that's where the whole lean movement has come in the last, 20 years or so in construction and engineering, in architecture, is just utilize what you need, and that's it. Like, you don't need all the extra stuff,
Yeah.
And that's been that's been our culture. That's been the water to our fishness.
Yeah.
It's just all around us. It's just, you don't even realize.
Yeah, and there is a
More,
part of
more.
me that would like to do some live events, and if we did that, we could use some of this stuff. But I think we're at least a year, if not more, away from that.
Yeah, and I guess the question is, but again, this whole process that we've been so fortunate to document, is about finding that out, right? It's about narrowing down that scope into something that's, achievable, affordable,
Yeah.
all of that is just so important. Yes, you can do anything, but you can't do everything.
Right. Yeah, and even if we get in a scenario where at some venue sometime we need sound gear, for what we would spend on storage, conceivably, over a period, we could rent a lot of shit.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it was like I won't get into the plans that I had before my injury, but it was a different path than I'm on now. But I mean, looking at narrowing the scope down to what we hope to produce over the next, 18 to 24 months, you don't need any of this.
Right.
Right.
I start to think we might, when it comes to like promotion, when there's stuff to actually promote, possibly then. But
I don't even know, given how you promote things nowadays, I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I'm just saying, like, if an opportunity does arise, that's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a long time away yet.
Yeah, I think so. So this is good. This is good. This is not a downer, but a change nonetheless.
I mean, we don't need to talk about this at length now, because I know you just said that, like, if you get a place soon, maybe we'll record there most often, and that's great. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I also do want to toy with doing some stuff in public. I really do.
I'm not there yet. I'll be honest. Yeah, and but I don't want to stop you.
Yeah.
So I mean, that might be a soft fork.
Yeah.
And like I say, I certainly don't want to stand in the way. But at this stage where I'm at the moment right now is like, no, there'll be no more public for me.
Well, you don't think you could have this conversation in a coffee shop?
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Just because of the distraction?
No, I just don't. I don't want to be. I don't want to deal with all. Like, one of the things that I've been studying this last little while is fame.
Right.
Because a lot of people, once they reach a certain age, they want to disassociate with their fame. Now, some of that is very disingenuous.
Yeah.
Some famous authors, would rather have not written that big bestseller that all of a sudden now that's all they end up having to talk about everywhere they go for the rest of their lives. And it's like, they would happily give that up. They would happily not have done that. And it's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Like, what that gave you in terms of a lifestyle, you'd be willing to get rid of all of that, go live as a substitute teacher somewhere? And,
yeah, it would be a struggle. It's like Steve Earle. I don't know if you saw Steve Earle had a meltdown in Winnipeg last week.
No, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, drunk shell in Copperhead Road.
Okay.
It finally kind of snapped him. There was some other things that happened to touch on too. But yeah, he announced on stage, I think it was 3 or 4 nights ago, that he's never going to Winnipeg again.
Yeah.
Said it on stage.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just a meltdown over that, right? Like, it's a song he wrote 40 years ago.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And every night, he's had 16 albums since. Every time he takes the stage, there's drunks yelling Guitar Town. And
that's right, but he made more money on royalties and mechanicals from that one song than he has probably for anything else he's done in his career.
Yeah.
And so that has allowed him, it has enabled him to do all the things he's been able to do. So, and here's, I guess, part of the problem that we have with our society today is we've become so numb to the external gratitudes that we're indebted to.
Yeah.
Right? Like I mean, the roads that you drive on when you drive here, somebody had to make those roads. Somebody had to be probably in the blazing hot sun, spreading out that asphalt, cursing the day they were born because it was hell. You do asphalt on a hot day. That's pretty much what hell will be like.
Yeah.
Even the smell of it. And we drive these roads and we give no context whatsoever, no display of gratitude. Not that you have to pull over on the side of the road and give alms to the people who laid the asphalt. Yeah. I'm not talking about that, but I'm just talking about a general gratitude of everything we've received that we just fail to acknowledge because we're not even aware of it. We're not aware, and this goes back to a previous episode we were talking about libertarians. And the fact that they and externalize costs. Like people just don't acknowledge the debt they have to others in order to be where they are today. Yeah. That's the problem. And that's what I want to try and now explore for myself. However, at this point in time, if I were to come up with something that would bring me a whole bunch of fame, I would probably say, yeah, no, at this stage of my life, I don't want that. I don't want to do the tours and the fucking Q&As and the fucking podcast circuits and all that kind of stuff. I just wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. And I can understand that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, the only part of it that remotely appeals to me, and I mean, we've talked about this at length a couple times already, is just, like that ability to network, that ability for people to return your phone calls. Like that's
social capital. That's right. That cachet, right? That's in and of itself a huge achievement.
Yeah.
Who called? Oh, give me that number.
Yeah, and then just their ability to do things like, there's a ton of podcasts out there on basically every topic you could ever have.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people because of our business that have MS.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of podcasts on MS and living with MS.
Yeah.
But when Christina Applegate and I forget her name off the top of my head, the girl that played Meadow Soprano on The Sopranos.
Yeah.
When those two started a podcast to do with MS,
it
made every paper in the country.
That's right.
So like just having that name, when you start a new unrelated project, it is such a bonus.
Yes.
It's such a kickstart.
Again, it's a form of capital, right? It's a currency. It's a social currency. Yeah. You can trade it for other things.
Yeah.
And that's the same, the reciprocal of that then is trying to put on a live event, for instance, when you're an unknown. Mm-hmm. It's like, good luck with that. We don't live in a world where enough people who would have the money and the time to come and see an event would say, hey, I know nothing about these people or what they've done or anything. I'm just going to take a chance that this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Nobody out there.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Right. Like whenever we would do something, even with the second radio station that I built, when it was getting started, nobody knew who it was. Nobody knew what it was. Yeah. And when we would do an event or something, like we would have one person show up. Wow. And then you're always wondering, are they a stalker?
Yeah.
Because that's the realm, right? That's what stalkers do.
Yeah. Yeah, that really quickly shows you why organizations like, for example, nonprofits that have to raise money to sustain themselves, that's why they have to associate themselves with celebrities.
That's right.
That are willing to do events for them.
That's right.
Like that, that you have to. Yeah.
That's right. Absolutely. So unfortunately, that's it. So that's a really good seg now into this.
Okay.
And in terms of looking at the business plan, that being a little bit more like the one that we fed to ChatGPT and that I kind of butchered, cut up. Of all of the ways that we could probably make money to support this venture, I believe in the old school one, and that is that you do the work, you create something of value, and then you trade on the value of that thing.
Right.
Like that's it. So in other words, all the good intentions and plans in the world isn't going to make the Fritter Hollow brand worth anything.
Yeah.
It'll still be zero.
Yeah.
However, if we do a really good job with this one particular podcast, not the one that anyone's listening to now, but the one that's coming up, that you're writing at the moment, if we do a really good job on that, I would be all in on trading that for whatever kind of social capital you'd be interested in trading. It's like trading currencies, right? It's like US dollars into pesos, whatever. So that's it. And then going from there and saying, okay, we did this one thing. What is it worth? Oh, well, it was worth X, right? It was a little bit like back when the Neistat brothers were doing their show. I don't know if how much you know about Casey and Van Neistat.
I mean, I know who they are, but I don't know a ton.
Yeah. So they first of all, they got their start working for the artist Tom Sachs in New York City.
Right.
So they had him as a mentor, and that's where they got their styles from. Yeah. I mean, you can tell now when you look at what they do. It's just like, holy moly, they ripped him off like crazy.
Right.
But he's supportive of them, believes in them, didn't sue them. And they ended up right around the time that first iMac DV came out, the iMac DV Special Edition. Remember the kind of the round bubbler kind of translucent machines?
The Bondi Blue, I think they call it.
Yeah, Bondi Blue was one. I had the graphite gray. I had one of those.
So we're talking about 1998, roughly.
Ish. Yeah. And so they had a camcorder, and they maxed out a credit card so they could get this computer, and they were on, man. It was game on for them, and they ended up putting together this pastiche of video clips that ended up being moderately narrative in function and storytelling. And inspired by Tom Sachs and his work. And they ended up getting picked up by HBO. So it was the Neistat brothers. And HBO gave them a season. And I think they gave them $1.5 million for that first season.
Oh, I didn't know any of that.
The problem is that they aired it at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I mean, well, who's going to be watching at that time? So then they didn't renew the second season because they didn't have the ratings.
Right.
But it gave them cachet.
Yeah.
Now people would return their phone calls.
Yeah.
And then sometime after that, Casey became Casey in the vlogging world, and he's the godfather of vlogging now. I mean, he wrote the book that so many people have used. Ironically, as he has stolen from Tom Sachs now, everybody else in the vlogging world has stolen from him.
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes.
It is.
Yeah.
So, but had it not been for the blood, sweat, and tears and toil of making what they made that would eventually become the Neistat Brothers show on HBO, they wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
Yeah.
And so that's what this is, I think. That's what GIDS is going to be. Mm-hmm. It's going to be that shot at the big leagues. And then if somebody picks it up, somebody gives you a sum of money to run it, to buy it, license it, whatever it might be. Lawyers will be involved.
Yeah.
Then you'll have the cachet to be able to have your phone calls returned. That's it. And to me, that's the only business plan. There's no other business plan.
Well,
it's produce this show to the highest possible degree you can for the least amount of money possible. At the end of it, make sure that it's honest and that you are nothing but 100% proud of the work you've done.
Yeah.
And then see what that brings you back.
Yeah.
That's the business plan.
I'm 100% on board with that. I guess the only question, and I might be playing devil's advocate here. Under the moving forward section, your number one point is postpone expansion plans.
Yeah.
Does that include other podcast projects?
No. That was the expand this place, find a new place.
Right.
Rent a facility that was an actual production center, like those things that we talked about in previous episodes and previous to that.
Okay, so then producing an entirely separate project as a possibility is still in play.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if we should be looking at that. And the only reason I bring that up, and this is the only reason I say it, is GIDS, like, we are 4 or 5 months away from even being able to start the editing process.
Yep.
So we have time to potentially work on something else.
Well, hypothetically.
Yeah.
But we don't. Because how much time right now are you spending writing that first draft?
Well, between everything I'm doing on it, I spend about an hour a day on it.
An hour a day.
But I don't want to spend any more time than that because I want everything I do on there to be like focused. Like I want my focus. I want to be fresh.
That's right. So out of the other things you're doing, both personal and business, as well as work, do you have, let's say, another hour to put into another project right now? Like, would that be reasonable? I
think so. Yes, because especially if I did get rid of this place and coming here wasn't a concern anymore, and like I'm scaling back on the music stuff I was doing anyway, I still spend, like, it's good for me. It's good for me, so I don't want to scale back all of it, but I still spend a couple hours a day listening to music on the treadmill at the gym or lifting weights at the house. That could be better structured. Like I'm busy all the time. I'm not pretending I'm not. I am. Between like the company I'm running, the work I'm doing, the health stuff I'm trying to do, the music I'm trying to play and write, this stuff, family stuff. I'm busy all the time. But I wouldn't say that it's all optimized.
Okay, so at the moment, you don't have unspent free time that's looking for a project.
No, I have to cut and move stuff and optimize. But
so that's what scares me.
Yeah,
that's what scares me, because once again, it's a ratcheting effect, right? It's just ratcheting. It's more, and at a certain point, it breaks, right? Like that's the thing. So one of the things I was going to comment on, I think I might have before we started recording last episode, was that this past 2 weeks now, I have found the traction in my work that I'd been missing for weeks, if not months.
Right.
Probably closer to months now. Not a year, but certainly there was some months that went by, I would say since early April, where I just wasn't, like everything was in place. I had absolutely everything I needed, all the time in the world to do, and yet nothing was coming, right? It was just like, and I'd sit down and I'd stare at the screen and it would be like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. Sure, I can push myself at this stage of the game, but I was still decompressing from the previous, years worth of work that I had been doing. And just recently now, the last 2 weeks, I've been kind of disengaging the clutch now, right? Yeah. So rather than just sitting there and revving the engine and going nowhere, now I'm moving forward now. And so let's say I'm in first gear, I'm about to change into second. And the feeling of that, like when you talk about how when you get into the flow and you're working on the script, that's your dopamine. Yeah, I'm there now too. Yeah, like holy moly, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, and at the end of it, let's say I do, and I cap it at 4 hours. Like 4 hours is plenty. All the masters spent 4 hours a day.
That's a long time. People don't realize how long
it is, especially when you're focused like 4 hours of unbroken concentration. That is a lot of time.
Your brain is like a jumbled mess.
Yeah. So shut the computer off now. Don't allow yourself to even go web surfing. But now go outside, be in nature, just listen to the birds, do whatever. By the way, I had kind of a shock last night. There was a moth came up on the one window, and all of a sudden a bird came up behind it and grabbed it.
Wow.
I didn't know birds ate moths, but apparently a lot of North American birds eat moths. So there we go. There's nature.
That's the second.
Everything wants to eat you.
You are the second person today to tell me a story about a moth on their door screen.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where farmers, once the seeds are in, once it's starting to, now you just got to let nature take its, there's nothing you can do to get them little plants to sprout faster.
Yeah.
What do you do now? Well, let's overhaul that tractor that's been sitting in the bush for a while. You do things, but you certainly don't take on any more projects that are gonna, come to an intersection at some point in the fall. And now it's like, oh, we don't have time to do any of this, right? Because another podcast project, which I'm 100% into, by the way, I'm not writing it off, but I'm just saying, proceed with caution, because it's a lot of work.
Well, and I think you're probably right. I guess my problem, like to just sum up what my concern is if if we're going to be a production company, we need to produce something. And like, we're looking at, like, with this GIDS as the first project, we're not actually going to have anything released for another 14, 15 months.
That's right. But we are producing right now.
Yeah.
We are a production company, and we are legitimately producing. You're just in that, remember a couple episodes ago, I was talking about you're in that, that point where the ship's in the middle of the ocean and there's no wind.
Yeah.
You're just sitting, I mean, it could be days, could be weeks.
Yeah.
We hope we don't run out of food, you know?
I mean, I don't have
That's
another.
where we are right now.
I don't have another good idea at the moment, anyway. So
Yeah.
like maybe that would change things if we had another vision. If we had a different idea, then
Like if it was a quick one shot, like somebody brought the entire production to us to actually, basically record, edit, and produce. I think I would consider it.
Yeah.
But in terms of something that we would create, I would recommend against that, because we are at the moment we are. Pardon me, in pre-production.
right.
And pre-production, I mean, look at Hollywood movies. Some of those Hollywood movies take years to pre-produce.
Yeah.
Years.
Well, it's
just a matter of patience at this stage.
do you support me? Like, if I'm just living my life and not out there actively trying to find things, if I'm just living my life and come up with concepts from time to time and come here and run them by you, are you at least supportive of that?
Yeah, let's document them.
Okay.
Like I say, let's kind of even sketch them out. Like, what would this look like? What would that look like? I mean, to me, that's fun, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of committing, like, I'm committed to GIDS.
As am I.
Yeah.
As am I. If I could work, if I thought it was a good idea to work 8 hours a day on it and put it out next month, I would. I just don't think that's the way to do it.
I agree with you. I really agree on that. But I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's the thing that's keeping me from heading to the West Coast right now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
okay. So then I have one more. This kind of naturally takes me to one more kind of place.
Yeah.
So yesterday I mentioned that I was kind of hooked on unprotected stories and not inner worlds. I think I have reversed my position on that. I had a lengthy chat with ChatGPT and then some thinking time on myself, and I do think for a number of reasons that I want to go with inner worlds now. So I'm okay with that. Have you thought to look, because I haven't, to see if there is any existing podcasts or YouTube shows or anything like with that?
Well, I did a quick search way back when,
Right.
like when I say way back when, like 2-3 weeks ago, and whenever it came up.
Yeah.
And I found Inner Stories as a YouTube channel, 275,000 subscribers.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
But I didn't see anything called Inner Worlds. So, but I didn't do a deep dive, and I also didn't check for the URL. So
I'm going to do all that before I post this episode.
Okay. I also don't think it matters. Like, unless somebody's done
I don't think it's going to put me off it, but it's something I want to know.
Yeah, like if there's another if there's another Inner Worlds out there that's like somebody's early parental project of hosting their baby photos, their first baby's photos, like, I wouldn't let that deter you.
No. No, we could always, I'm not saying I want to do this, but we could always add a third word as well. We could always add a third word as well.
A third word?
Yeah.
Yeah, or something completely different. I mean, what we're dealing with at this stage of the games, we're dealing with the concepts, right? It's not necessary. We're dealing with first drafts.
Yeah.
This is not a final draft. This is not something that's going to be committed to URL.
For now, let's say we're going with Inner Worlds.
Oh, sure, yeah, exactly. Working title.
Right, yeah. And we've decided that GIDS is going to be the first season, which I like. And that kind of implies that there will be other seasons.
That's right.
To me, having seasons, like a season implies a larger story that has a several episode arc, like GIDS does. Would you agree with that?
Not necessarily.
Okay, well then pin that for a second and you come back to explain yourself. Because that's the way I was thinking.
Yep.
But then I was thinking, like, there's lots of inner world experiences and smaller stories that don't have a multi-episode arc that are still worth being told, maybe single episodes. So I was thinking if we do Inner Worlds, maybe Inner Worlds would have a lot of just one-off episodes and then these larger story arcs that we release as seasons. So it's kind of two things. Like in Inner Worlds would be a podcast that has a lot of just standalone episodes, but then releases these larger stories.
Yeah, so the whole concept of a season really came around as when media became bingeable.
Yeah.
And they would drop the entire season at once, right? That's really when that came up.
And I like that. For GIDS, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the legacy podcasts out there right now, and they're still on season 1, episode 289. Like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, why? Because that's how they started it, and they couldn't, they didn't want to break the pattern.
Yeah.
I think what I really like is I'm a big fan of John Ronson. Longtime journalist and podcaster and author and all that kind of stuff. And he creates these, I don't know if he does it anymore, but he created these incredible limited run series, like maybe 8 episodes. And that's it. Like there's 8 episodes and that's it. There'll never be another one.
Yeah.
And so, but he packaged it up as a show. And they're out there. You can go back and re-listen if you like, which I really appreciate. They're masterfully done. Excellent storyteller. S-Town is another one. Like there will never be a season 2 of S-Town.
No, I love S-Town forever. S-Town is also part of the reason why we're here.
But S-Town, considered as a single season of a podcast that has a thematic imperative, there's that phrase again coming back.
Yeah.
And that's what we talked about.
Wasn't it originally supposed to be? The guy that did S-Town, didn't he originally start it as sort of like a potential criminal investigation for another show?
Well, I mean, that's could have been, actually. Yeah. I mean,
that was the
Serial
impression I think maybe it was Serial.
Yeah, it could have been. But I mean, like when we talk about, we have to go back a number of pages here. Allow me. And it was it was the first major rehash on July 11, 2026. Derek asked ChatGPT to review all 10 episode transcripts from the Fritter Hollow podcast and find quotable quotes. It did a whole lot more, and did it ever? So that was that one really really impressed me. But here's the thing now it was from episode 10. And it was the mission statement thematic imperative that I noted here from these notes. And it's like we're beginning to identify the kinds of stories that actually interest us. They are hidden inner worlds, unprotected stories, meaningful documentaries, and helping people make sense of things. So I think how you judge whether something is a season of inner worlds is, does it meet one or all or some of those criteria?
Right.
And that's it. That's your thematic imperative.
Okay.
That's your theme. That is the imperative that you employ to the end. Like there it is.
So are we basically then just releasing GIDS and hope that people contact us saying this story reminded me of something that happened to me or my friend?
Well, I mean, so post release, that's something we have to talk about. We have to talk about PR. But I think what we would do is we would want to this is like we'll definitely have this conversation again.
Yeah.
But I think what we would want to do is we would want to contact anybody who would need to be contacted that this would have interest to. And I'm talking about professional associations, especially if we're going to involve professionals in this. Okay. So we're going to say, hey, would this be of use? Would this story be of use in anything at all? As a teaching tool, maybe, as something, like whatever. Try and find...
Psychologists,
yeah, absolutely. This is where I'm going with that. And then especially if there's going to be a book come out to it as well. So if we can start to, rally the troops, if you will, beforehand, then it can make creating other things a lot easier because you'd have a purpose for it, right? Like, hell yeah, we could use a book.
But I was thinking more from the perspective of finding our second season.
No, don't worry about that. The thing is what you want to do is you want to pre-promote the series. So this would mean it would have to be finished.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a believer of pre-promoting something that's not done yet because that's just a recipe for disaster. You know, it's like giving 3-year-olds a book of matches and say, amuse yourself.
Yeah.
Won't end well. So we'll begin to pre-promote it among certain professional circles. Then we'll go wider. Then we'll be audacious. Mm-hmm. And then we'll start reaching out to everybody, you know, all of the podcast networks, companies, the big ones, go to This American Life.
Yeah.
and see if there's a NPR, see if there's anybody, CBC, see if there's anybody that would be willing to pick up, aka license, a show like this.
Yeah.
So we could do a trailer, we'd have a press kit, we'd have all that stuff done, and then it's a matter of executing. And then, so this would all be done before November 7, 2027.
Right.
So then November 7, 2027, there's the launch of it now. And the launch would have maybe a reception. Maybe we play the first episode live.
Like a listening party?
Yeah, like a listening party. That's right. Of family and friends and anybody who would want to come.
It's fucking nerve-wracking, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I know.
Psychologically, it's not possible for me to be any more fucking naked on that day.
Psychologically.
Yeah.
That's right. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's what happens. Then, for a second season, I'm pretty sure that'll just come. Like, I'm not worried at all. I've got ideas.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, no worries. Okay. No worries. But it would have to be like a sophomore album. It would have to be another story that's really worth telling. Like, that's the thing about your story, is that it's really, really worth telling. It's not just like, oh, that's a good story. Yeah. It's like, that's a really good story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not
enough to make me, postpone moving to the coast for a year.
Yeah. Yeah, like when we have to talk kind of abstract here, but when I talk about what people would naturally assume was the single biggest event of my life, the fallout from it is not at all what people expect. And
right.
And that's the, to me, the key part of it.
Yep.
But then, like, when you look at what actually did happen, there's little pieces all strewn throughout that other people will relate to.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is big.
Yeah.
And people don't admit that stuff. They don't talk about it.
That's right.
They bury it.
That's right.
And suffer for it.
That's right. Yeah. And I think, again, sort of just crystal balling.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that will come from this effort will be to have people come up to you and say, I heard your podcast. I went to see a therapist.
Yes.
Like you have no idea the tsunami of help that you might unleash upon the world.
Yeah, I hope so.
And this is the era that we're going into now. We're going into the era of transparency and honesty and authenticity. We talked a couple episodes back about everything being performative now.
Yeah.
This is the end of that era.
Yeah.
It's no longer performing, right? It's Instagram. Everything is falling in numbers now because people are just tired of the facades, their own and others.
And it makes sense to me too that they would be. Like, scarcity is what creates value, and it used to be performing for people was very, very difficult to do, and only a few people ever got a chance.
Yeah.
But the last 25 years have made everybody that wanted to be a content producer.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it's not scarce anymore, which means you have to be fucking outstanding for anybody to even sort of care. And
especially now.
Even then they might not find you.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
well, yeah, that's right, because you've got an algorithm, as the new gatekeeper is the algorithm.
Right. So people are starving for authenticity now.
They are. They're starving for real in their own lives, and a lot of times that means local.
Yes.
Like, you're not going to look at gigantic numbers.
Yeah.
In the community that you're serving.
Yeah.
And then, as I understand our notes along the way, you would like Fritter Hollow to be the start of that kind of community. Right, of people then who maybe share in that thematic imperative, in that mission, vision, mandate, and and collaborate, come together, make more, do more.
Yeah, I want it to. I would like to see it become something recognizable enough that we can actually do things. I would like that, but I don't want it to ever get to the point where we're not in complete control of what it does and doesn't do.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, I mean, if we lose...
Well, take no sponsors. You're always in
yeah.
complete control, right?
Yeah, if we lose the authenticity, then what's the fucking point? Because
Sure,
that's
and that affects every single entity ever to enter this sphere.
Right.
You know, the minute they get to a certain point and the money rolls in, everything changes.
Yeah.
Everything changes. So
yeah, like take the truth and tell it in the most captivating way possible, sure.
Yeah.
But as soon as you're altering truth to make it captivating, I'm out. That's like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally 100% agree with you. 100% on board with that. But I mean, that's it. I mean, you know, you can, I mean, I'm trying to think about, I'm trying to think of a podcast situation now that kind of falls in line with that. But, you know, there's certain music artists, bands, solo artists, whatever, that just do things their way. I mean, Tame Impala.
Yeah. I would put Prince in that category. I always thought
Prince. Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, I mean he had commercial hits, but he would then turn around and put out a string of songs that nobody liked because he did his thing. He never followed a blueprint.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, but what he was 100% dedicated to was excellence.
Yeah,
that's the thing that goes right through his career.
And the sheer number of people that took some songs that were just shy of being commercially accessible and commercialized them and had hits. Like Cyndi Lauper did it, the Bangles did it, Sinead O'Connor did it. Like, and that proves that like his songs were great, but not always commercially accessible because other people made them commercially accessible by making small tweaks, right? Like, I love Prince. I could talk about Prince all day.
Yeah, I have nothing but respect for him as well.
Yeah.
Wonder what he'd be doing today.
Yeah.
So that's the I mean that's the Faustian bargain, right? That's the deal with the devil. You know, like that's Yeah.
It's funny. Like I think a lot of people, and this is just me assuming, I could be totally wrong. I think a lot of people our age, like let's say 50 and older, for the sake of this conversation, start to get hyper-focused on retirement and saving money and not having to work and all these things, which is, I totally get it. I'm not being critical of any of that. But it's just not where I'm at. And I should be. I fucking need to be. But like I'm not. I'm focused on telling stories that I think need to be told and like leaving something behind worthwhile for future generations to hear.
Well, I myself had no intention of retiring ever.
Yeah.
Like I will die behind the camera.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can see the proof of where I was going, the new direction that I was going in. But an injury came along and it changed everything. And it's like, well,
Do we agree that for me, I'd rather tell a killer story well recording on an iPhone than telling a so-so story in a so-so fashion with the thousands of dollars worth of gear.
Yeah, as long as the iPhone doesn't hinder you in any way.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that you can certainly you can see. I mean, Bon Iver went out to the cabin and had a 58, I think.
Yeah.
And a 4-track tape recorder.
Yeah.
The Marfa tapes was another one that was really quite outstanding. This 4-track tape recorder in the kitchen of an old farmhouse.
Yeah.
You know, and some killer musicians who were hurting real bad, and they made some great songs together.
You know, it's funny.
The problem is that you needed to have that experience. You needed to have that success before you're okay with the fact that you're using an iPhone.
Yeah,
that's what I mean to say.
Yeah.
So if you have the creative maturity to see past the fact that you're using an iPhone instead of a $10,000 Neumann microphone, then yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But if you can't, you're always going to be self-conscious of that, and it's going to affect the end product.
That's true. Yeah.
And I've seen it. I've seen that happen with my eyes.
This is maybe unrelated, and I might just be bringing this up because I want ChatGPT to pick it apart later and see if there's anything useful here. But we had a conversation once a while ago, you and I, where we were talking about old recording gear, and you're bringing up the 4-track just now, reminded me of it. The most prolific songwriting time of my life was when I had an apartment, one SM57 microphone, and a 4-track recorder. And for a little less than a year, I was in that situation. That was hands down the most prolific songwriting time I had in my life. And it's like since then, ever since then, the gear has gotten cheaper. My capabilities have gotten better. What's affordable for me to do has risen, but yet my rate of output has dropped, and it's like falling off a cliff compared to what I had, and I wonder what that is. Like,
it's life. It's life. It's the pressures and the all the little deals you make along the way, the car payments, the mortgage payments, whatever it happens to be, the vacation that one may or may not be able to afford. Yeah. It's all of that rolled into one. Because the same thing happened to me in 1988. I wrote 100 songs with a songwriter buddy in his parents' basement using a Yamaha MT1X 4-track tape recorder, and a little bit of rented gear, but some stuff that we had. Over 100 songs in a summer, like we were doing 2 and 3 a day. Finished. Yeah. Now they weren't that good. Yeah. But we were banging them out, and every little riff led to another song. So we were so, and you could say, well, where did that go? Well, I didn't have a mortgage. I didn't, there was nothing in my life good. That it was all pure aspiration. This is what I want to be. I want to be a rock star.
And you're right about that. Because I've had everything from kids and a whole bunch of other stuff since. So you are right about that. But it's also more than that. There was things that I probably should have been doing then. I just didn't give a shit. I was 23 or however old I was, and I just didn't fucking care. Yeah. Like there was other things that I should have done, and I paid a price for not doing them, but I just didn't care.
So this is what happens. Now, it's nonsense. If you were to say, I'm going to be a rock star, I'm going to get a bunch of gear, I'm going to write some songs, and I'm going to be a rock star, it would be like, well, that's not likely to happen. Like that's pretty much nonsense. Yeah. Right? You have to be pretty delusional to think that you were actually going to pull that off.
But it can be the driver for some amazing things.
And tomorrow someone's going to win a lottery. Yeah. Like it's possible, but not very possible. Yeah. But when you're 23, everything's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have this...
That's what it is.
You have this semi-delusion, too, that you have all kinds of time to make it up later.
Absolutely.
It is kind of a delusion.
It is a delusion. It's pure delusion. Yeah. And those older, they just laugh at you, right? They'll figure it out. Life will happen to them. They'll grow out of that.
Yeah. You know what the story reminds me of? Do you remember back, I think it was 92 and 93, but it was somewhere around there, the Toronto Blue Jays won the World Series 2 years ago.
I do remember that,
yeah.
Yes. Yep.
I was just kind of finishing high school around that time. And a couple of kids I was friends with, a couple of guys I was friends with were right into it. Like, I don't even think they were big into baseball before the Blue Jays had the success. But the success of the Blue Jays, like, it just really excited them. And I fucking kid you not, Dan, they dropped out of high school to become professional baseball players. Yeah. And for about 3 weeks, I watched them go to the field every day and pass the ball around and practice their batting. Like, they'd never played, I don't even think they cared about baseball the year before. Yeah. But, like, that sort of, when I think back at that, like we laughed at them then, and it's certainly a joke now. Like it's funny stuff. But there was something fucking cool about it. Like just watch 2 young kids, they would have been about 16, 17 at the time. Just to see somebody so fucking excited for something that they're literally throwing their future away to stand in the field every day and like work toward it. I mean, it didn't last long, but for a while. Like, I don't know, there's something inspiring in that.
Well, it's not just inspiring. It's inspiring. It's actually beautiful, right? Like that's. I think that's what makes coming to this planet and living this existence worthwhile. Is that idea that you could become so raptured by an ambition or a dream or being inspired by someone else. Like that's to me that's the stuff. Yeah. Right. That's the glue. That's the boson particle or whatever it's called. But we do mock it.
We do, we totally
because we're stuck on this, so-called prison planet, leading these lives that are, as the Buddhists say, just depressing.
Yeah. Yeah, we mock people that do that
suffering,
too.
Hey,
we're just a mocking species because we mock people that do that too.
Yeah,
like I have a couple people I know of that I went to high school with that did the right thing at like every stage in life. Mm-hmm. They did what they were supposed to do. They went to school, they went to post-secondary, they worked hard, they played sports, they stayed in shape, they ate right, they met a woman, they got married, they had kids, they worked hard at a job, they saved some money, they have a house now, a couple cars, they have a future, they have retirements. And I'm jealous of a lot of that. And I'm envious. And I am envious of the discipline more than anything else. Like, good for you. I could not have done that. You're amazing. But there's a part of me that like mocks it. And I'm like, why am I doing that? Why am I mocking that?
Yeah.
Like and it's not just jealousy. I'm sure that's part of it, but there is a part of me that wonders, like, did you not have dreams?
Yeah.
But maybe that is the dream. Maybe some people do dream for that. They just
Yeah.
they like the idea of, like, you know, what we were told when we were kids that we should.
Well, I mean, sure, but how much of that dream is theirs?
And there's no way for me to know, but
No.
I'm sure for some people it's perfect.
Well, I mean, sure, but I mean, again, when that's the culture that you grow up in, when that's what you're shown by the adults that raise you,
Yeah.
how much of a chance do you have to come up with something original? Not as much.
Not as much, but
Yeah.
those two kids that quit high school to play baseball, they fucking did it.
Well,
At least they tried.
yeah, they tried, exactly. I mean, yeah, and I mean, you know, it's like, again, you got to say you do you know, as long as you're not hurting anybody. But I mean, yeah, like, what is it? You know, we've got just a few rotations around the sun,
Yeah.
and it's done,
Yeah,
right?
it's
What are you
crazy.
going to do with that time? And that's it. And we don't get enough of that message.
Yeah.
You know, we get, like you said, the checklist, right? Okay, graduated from high school, you know, got good grades, went to university, got good grades, you know, got a good job, you know, bought a house, bought a car, got married, had some kids, you know, worked to my retirement. Okay. Now, throughout that, there would have been some really wonderful moments, guaranteed.
Absolutely.
But was it a dream?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. I think one of the themes that I've been exploring this last little while is the absolute ruthlessness of nature.
Yeah.
Nature is the ultimate trick fucker. Nature trick fucks you. If you think about when you're young and your hormones are raging and you see a girl or a boy, whatever, and you're attracted to them, that's not you. That's fucking nature.
Yeah.
That's fucking the innate need for nature to perpetuate this particular species.
Yeah.
And if you think that wow, she's pretty hot or he's pretty hot, if you think that that's you, you've just been deluded.
There's been cultures in the past that, and I think they might have been onto something, that viewed that as literally the influence of the devil. Like separate, like we conflate lust and love now all the time.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's the cultures that do the arranged marriages, and I mean, there's so much logic to that.
That lustful feeling, people should be fucking scared of that.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, really, when you think about it, you know, the whole falling in love thing is whether it's an arranged marriage or whatever culture, whatever era it's in. But that attraction is to get you to mate.
Yeah.
And then once the result of your mating happens 9 months later, like, good luck with that. Like, there's no more incentive. Like, that's it. You know, in fact, your heart's going to be broken time and time.
I don't want to get into this in this episode, but that would be a segue into arranged marriage conversation, which I think I'm like all about now. I think I actually favor the idea of arranged marriage.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about that on this show.
No, okay, we won't go down that road. But I mean, so don't worry.
Yeah.
There will be many seasons of
Okay, good. Yeah.
inner worlds.
Yeah, and that is, again, I mean, to repeat myself again, that is what I want to focus on. I'm fascinated by the inner worlds thing. I can dedicate my life to that.
Yeah, the thing is, right now, as I said, we're in the middle. We're starting out on a journey across the ocean, and there's going to be times when there's no wind, and we're just stuck right in the middle of like nothing. Can't move, can't go anywhere, and I mean stuck as in like this is it, right? Like we're gonna, you're just working on the draft.
Yeah.
I mean, what you said earlier was very revealing, right? We're not producing anything. No, actually, we are producing something.
Yeah, I guess I just got to remind myself of that.
Yeah, it's retraining. It's thinking about it in a different way.
Yeah.
You are doing the most important part right now, by far.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, before we wrap this up then, there is one more thing I want to mention, just because this show, even though, like, to a degree, this show is always going to be a little bit about mining ideas out, right? Like, bringing up
started
things
that
and
way.
seeing what sticks and what doesn't.
Yep.
I heard a quote, and I wish I could remember where I heard it. It was only a couple of days ago. It was on TV, but I don't remember what I was watching. That haunts me, and I don't know what to do with it, so I'm just going to say it and see if it sparks anything, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But the quote I heard was, "History is the most shallow of graves. It's closer to the surface than most of us realize."
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. I fucking tripped right out on that. Yeah. And I'm like, there's something I want to do with that general idea. I just have no idea what. but that really, really spoke to me.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, like every event I could think of in human history. When I thought about it in terms of how many generations ago that was, I was floored at how few generations it was in almost every instance.
Yeah.
Like even especially going back, like anything that relates to the Western world, like I would say, you go back to William the Conqueror, and you're probably at like the beginning of what I would define as the modern Western world. If you talk in terms of generations, that really wasn't that long ago. Like, and even Jesus, which is double the distance, like it's not as far back as we think it was. And I find that fascinating.
Yeah.
You know, and like we are literally living with the direct consequences of events that we think are far away.
Yeah.
Like we're still living with the direct consequences of the British and the French fighting over North American soil.
Yeah.
We don't really think about that very often, but we are.
Yep.
I don't know. There's something there. I don't know what yet.
Yeah. Yeah, good. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, it's on the record now.
Yeah.
Whomever we need to attribute.
And you know,
Thank
like
you.
Speaking of like novel processes, like a lot of the reason like I like to bring this kind of thing up while we're recording too is because I'll feed it to ChatGPT later and see what it comes up with.
Yeah. Well, that's been a real bonus, I think.
Yeah, it has been.
In terms of a process right now, in terms of having that, it's like having the most amazingly brilliant, slightly autistic, geeky, office assistant or production assistant.
Yeah,
someone that'll track down some obscure fact from whenever or wherever.
It's just it's a wonderful thing to spitball with.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think a lot of people are missing the ball on that. They're going to ChatGPT for answers, or they're going to ChatGPT to help them perfect a document or something.
Yeah.
And you can use it for that thing, but I think it's much better at spitballing.
Yeah.
Giving you ideas to run with and make your own.
Yeah. Well, I think it's so great at pattern recognition, and we're good at that. Like we recognize pattern recognition, right?
Yeah.
As do most animals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that looks like a nasty, toad. I don't think I'm going to touch that one.
Yeah.
And
we don't even realize we're doing that half the time.
That's right.
We are pattern matching constantly.
Well, we are absolutely 100%. But I think ChatGPT or any of the agentic models out there just take it to a whole other level.
Almost instantly.
Oh, and almost instantly. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's what's been really mind blowing to me.
There was this moment when I was writing a song, it was probably a year ago, when I had basically no ideas, and I asked ChatGPT just to generate random song ideas for me. And it generated about 10. And one of the things it generated, I didn't like the idea, but I liked the way it strung together a couple of words, and I ran with it. And I did end up writing a partial song from it. I didn't complete it, but it did sort of work. And I felt the whole time kind of dirty that I'd asked AI for suggestions. But then I thought back, and I remembered 20 years earlier when I had those moments where I didn't have any ideas, I would start looking through a newspaper or looking through a magazine or watching TV and just listening for lines, listening for quotes, something to run with, right? And that worked often. And then I kind of thought, like, what's the difference? There's no difference.
No, there's none. And I don't think there's any shame involved in that part of the process.
Yeah.
Brian Eno has a set of cards that he sells that start ideas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how's that different from what you use ChatGPT
there's not.
for?
There's not.
It's different if you say, ChatGPT, write me a 3-verse chorus bridge song about...
Yes, that's the same as going up to your friend and saying, I'll give you $10 if you do my homework.
Yeah.
Everybody recognizes that as cheating.
Right.
But for just idea generation, it's just smart because it's so fast and it's seen... conceptually at least, it's seen everything ever written in human history. It's a great...
Everything written in human history, that's right. It hasn't seen anything that hasn't been written.
Right, yeah. So you've still got to do that part.
Yeah, that's an important distinction, but yeah.
I mean, and I'm not going to name the song just because I don't want to, but there's this song I really, really like, a lesser-known song by a very, very popular band. Mm-hmm. And I know that it was written because the guy that wrote it, who was in the band, went to a gas station and saw a girl that worked there that had a name tag with kind of an unusual name, and wrote a song from it. And I mean, that's what inspiration is. Well, ChatGPT could have just as easily said, well, how about we look at unusual women's names?
Yeah.
And give you a list. And you're at the same fucking place.
Yeah. Yeah, no question.
Or at least a very similar place. So
Yep.
that to me is where AI is really useful. That and psychological insights.
Yeah, I would be very interested in seeing where AI is 10 years from now. I mean, assuming it's not, trying to kill us all or, part of a larger global surveillance network. I mean, there's that possibility. But, if we manage to, if we pop the AI bubble that's going on right now and get everything kind of back to normal in the stock market and then just keep going reasonably with these large language models or whatever is next, I'm very interested to see how we use this in 10 years from now. Much like when I poo-pooed the internet back in 95. The first time I saw, the first time someone logged on to the information superhighway, and it took 30 minutes, I was like unconvinced. I mean, oh, no. This is never going to go anywhere, right? Okay.
I thought that about tablets. Like I thought the iPad was the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, that's where we're at right now. We're at that beginning phase where everybody's getting it wrong at this moment, but it will sort itself out.
And I'm convinced that the majority of people will continue to get it wrong.
Yeah.
Like when I look at the pattern social media took, like from 2005 till now.
Yeah.
Like most users, I think, use it in a poor and destructive way. I think the companies have definitely
made a business model of that.
Made a business model and destroyed what it could have been.
Yeah.
So that will happen. It's going to get misused by the majority.
Yeah.
But there's that doesn't mean there's not good purpose for it. There still is.
Yeah. So would I rather it not existed? No. Am I participating in it now? No. I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
So, I don't have to be first in line anymore. That's what changes when you get to my age. It's like there you go.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you there. All right, well, I think that probably good for now.